Hello and welcome to Bulela Podcast. My name is Inutu and I have a special guest for you this week. I hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did making it. Remember, you can find Bulela Podcast on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. Check the description box for links to previous episodes as well as where you can find today's guest. Enjoy! Hi everyone, welcome to Bulela Podcast. My name is Inutu. Today I have a quick, short, fantastic episode with a talented Zambian music producer. I'm going to let him in a little while tell you everything about his work. But first off, I want you to remember all links to this episode are in the description box. This episode is available on YouTube as well as Anchor and whatever service you use to listen to your podcasts. Okay, then. So, hello, dear guest. I want you to tell my listeners and viewers who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is John, my government name, but I'm known popularly as Jhun. I'm a producer out of Zambia, from the Copper Belt specifically. Um, I've been producing for I think about 10 years now. I worked with basically everybody from Cleo to Bombshell to everyone, like Critic, basically everyone in the industry I've worked with. Um, I've been doing this for the longest time since my last year of high school. I've been producing to this day. Yes, I hope that intro was okay. I don't know if I left anything out.
No, no, no. What's impressive is that you have worked with everyone. Okay, so you more than any other producer has a lot of insight on the current scene.
Exactly.
You know what's ticking, what works. So personally, for me as a music fan, I am very honored to have you on my podcast. Okay, so thank you very much, John. Um, can you tell us? Okay, you've worked with everyone, and this might be
Yeah.
difficult for you to say, okay, this one project or these two projects or this period was, really huge because of XYZ. But I would like to know from you, from a producer's perspective, what of all the projects that you've worked on, let's say maybe in the last year, are you proudest of, and why?
Um, I would say I think I'm proudest of the project that Cleo dropped recently because um I've never worked with one of the big three major labels in the world. Cleo is signed to, oh, this by the way, Cleo is signed to Def Jam, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music. So that's the first time I ever worked with Universal. And Universal is one of the big three labels in the game. I think the other one is Sony. I'm just forgetting the other one. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, I think I think that's the project that I from the past year that I was proud of because it was a really it was a really big project. It's
Okay.
a very big label, very reputable. So such things are good for producers because it's kind of like a job.
Yeah.
It adds to your CV if you've worked with major labels. Like
Yeah.
you're more credible, I guess. So I think that's the project I would pick from the last year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay. No, no, no. Brilliant. If that's the one. I know at in the intro you said my government name is John.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for people who don't know, tell us your producer name, please. Yeah.
My yeah. I actually said it in the intro, but I think I just rushed through it. My producer name is Jay Han.
Okay. Yes. 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 Okay. So
Yeah.
yes, you did, or I missed it. I was just like, okay, okay, okay. This intro is brilliant. Okay. So Jahan is my guest, and you've heard he's proudest. Or this past year, he got to work with a big international label, the label under which Cleo Ice Cream is on, and that project he was part of. Jahan, please, please tell me and my listeners, why is it for you that the music industry um,
is important and relevant to the arts and cultural scene in Zambia? Why is it relevant? Why is it important, in your own words, as a producer, as a music producer?
Music is, I think it's really important. I think maybe the relevance of music is tied to the fact that I think I can't think of a person that doesn't listen to music. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
music is a way of communicating to people. Like I think it's relevant because there are a lot of people that use music as an escape from maybe um like emotions, like maybe sadness or something like that. It's an
Mm-hmm.
escape for a lot of people. So I feel um as musicians we really do play a huge role in terms of like how our music isn't just about like making stuff that sounds good. It's really, we really connect with people,
Right.
and music is also like a language. For instance, like as Zambia, okay, quite right, we're still kind of looking for our own sound, I guess. But let me use South Africa as an example. South Africa have got genres of music that are tied to them, and it's their way of like taking themselves to the world. I don't know
Right.
if you get what I mean. Yeah, like that's their
Absolutely.
way of, yeah, like that's their way of letting people in on their culture. So
Okay.
I feel that's also the relevance of music in Zambia. Like it kind of, when people come here, when they hear our music, they kind of get what we're about, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I tried to answer that question um like the best I could out of the
No,
box.
no,
I didn't know, yeah, like
no,
I just
no, no
wanted to,
worries.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're right. It connects, it connects people to who we are, what we are.
Well,
And
yeah,
I,
exactly.
I would argue that we do have a sound. We have Kalindula. Um,
There's Zamrock.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm happy that's come from you. You
yeah, I
know.
think I think maybe the words weren't right. We do have a sound, but um we're kind of like looking for that sound that will really take us out there, like the way Afrobeats has really worked for Nigeria, for example. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true, but then it's a little bit unfair. You use two examples on the African continent with a population size. The
Yeah,
Zambian
yeah,
population in either Nigeria or South Africa's population. If you they're so
yeah.
much bigger than we are.
It's so much bigger.
Exactly.
I think
So.
I think the only thing that maybe we need to do is, I think our music is very marketable, but we just need to know where to push it. I
Mhm,
saw I saw something recently, a tweet from I think a Zimbabwean DJ. He
mhm,
said Zambians should market this copperbird sound to the Caribbean countries, like
mhm.
the, yeah, like not Caribbean, the, is it Hispanic, like the Cubas and what, you know those countries, because their sound is kind of like ours.
Yes, because coincidentally, reggaeton is part of like what is a sound I'm familiar with, the
Exactly.
salsas, or
Yeah.
of the Caribbean, of the Africa, I wanted to say the African continent, of the South American
South American,
continent,
yes.
Central
Yeah,
American, very distinct sounds.
yeah.
Yeah, but
And, but I feel like I get the reggaeton vibe from us. Like I think it can really be pushed there. So I think it's really just about where we push it. Hey.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think individual artists, or yourselves as a producer, suggesting it to your artists,
Mm-hmm.
the artists that you work with, because I think I don't know how I came across this, but there's a Zambian artist. I don't know whether he posted it or I heard it personally. I can't remember, but a
Yeah.
Zambian artist was played on a radio station in Bridgetown, Barbados. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and if you check, Barbados is really small. I'm not really sure how that connection happened, but
Yeah.
this Zambian artist was being played on that radio station. So it's just sitting down as a producer and thinking, where where if you just want to limit it to countries that speak English, where in the
Yeah.
world do people speak English? I know the
Exactly.
dream is that a BBC radio DJ plays you as hot new artist, or a recurring artist that they mention on their weekly show, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be that,
Yeah.
so I agree with you 100% on the marketing, and I'm so happy that that has come from you.
Yeah.
You spoke very quickly about who you've worked with, and you said you've worked with everyone. Yes. So, how do people find you? How or where? I mean, social media obviously is what I mean. Could you tell us very quickly what your socials are? And how my guests, yes, mostly I interview musicians, how my guests or how my listeners can find you and find your catalog of artists that you work with. Just use this opportunity to talk about anything and everything regarding to finding you and your work.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the listeners can find me Instagram
Mm-hmm.
Jhun. That's JHUN
Yes.
underscore ZM.
Yep.
Facebook J Hannah. Uh, Twitter J underscore Hannah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all. That's all. Those are the socials that I use. But you
Brilliant.
can also follow uh Z Arts Records.
Ah, yes.
That's the label that I'm under. We've got artists like Natasha Chansa and Foreign under our roster.
Uh-huh.
So I'm under that label. So you can also follow them and inquire
Okay.
if you need work from me or anything like that. But if you
Okay.
want to come to me direct, those are my socials. Yeah, I
Okay.
I
All
do
right.
respond in time. Yeah,
I know, you will, because
yeah,
I mean, I communicated with you via Instagram, so you are active. You're not one of those producers who have a million and one social media handles and nobody can get to you. I can confirm you are
yeah.
accessible, and I appreciate that. And it's good that you mentioned Z Art, Natasha Chansa. I've been trying to get an interview with Natasha Chansa
Now you
forever, so
can you can get one. I think you can get one through me. I'll talk to
please, please,
her.
please,
I'll
and
reach.
the CEO for Z Arts. I admire this woman so much. I love the work that she's doing. But if those interviews could happen, it would make my 2023. One last thing, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. What episode of Bulela podcast have you listened to, and or which one was your favorite? Could you tell us so I could use this to soundbite as promo, like you guys? Even Jayhan listens to my podcast. Thank you very much.
I was going to say this is actually like the first time I don't really do like podcasts. I'm now getting into them, so I think this is going to be my first time, and I'm going to follow up after that. I'm going to see who else you've interviewed. I'm really getting into
Yes,
podcasts now, eh? So like that's
good,
when
good.
yeah, like uh I've never really listened to podcasts like that, but I would really, I think I like the vibe because it's like it's basically an interview, but I don't know it's got a twist to it. So I think I'll follow up.
Good.
I'll see who else you've interviewed.
Please,
Then I
please,
can also get people from my camp to come through.
please. Okay,
Yeah,
because here at Bulela Podcast, we're all about highlighting Zambian creatives, especially in the music scene. I am first of all, before anything, I am a fan of music. So and it's nice to speak to people who are doing work like you, that I admire, that I appreciate. And let's do another interview some other time, maybe a video interview if possible in the future.
Yeah, that would definitely be possible. But first, I want to get Natasha and Walia on the podcast. Then we
Brilliant.
do the interview.
Brilliant. Brilliant. We can
Yeah.
organize
So if you're
something.
listening, please, guys, come do the podcast.
Brilliant.
She's been
Brilliant.
looking.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
been wanting to do an episode with you. So please, if you're listening,
Okay.
and I think they'll listen to this because I'm going to like when it's out, I'm going to post and say I was on this.
Hi,
That's
everyone. That was my interview with Jayhan. He's a Zambian producer based on the Copper Belt, and he's worked with everyone in the Zambian music industry. He was kind enough to spare me a few minutes to chat about his work, which I really appreciate. You will find links to this interview and his social media in the description box of this episode.